undervaluing trucking as a whole. What does that mean? Not looking at what you do in a favorable manner. You look at it as something that is beneath you. You look at it as something that's less than you. What happens when you start doing things like that? You start getting tickets, you start job hopping, you start playing around on this road, getting fired from jobs. If you don't take this job seriously, this job will eat you up, especially if you don't have any other skills that can make equal or more money than driving a truck. This industry will swallow you up if you don't take it seriously.
Bink, Bink, Bink. Listen, man, for those of you who may not be familiar with the person talking in that clip I just played, he goes by the name Bink TV, but he has a new channel. It's called All Zoned In. I'll leave the link to his channel in the description. All Zoned In, formerly known as Bink TV. He dropped some jewels, man. Dropped a lot of gems, so much so to where I was compelled to react to some of the things that he stated in his video, because it was all facts. All facts. Listen, guys, to all my truck drivers out there, first and foremost, I want you to check the entirety of the video that he posted. I only shared a short clip, but he's dropping gems all throughout that video. In that video, he's basically talking about how truck drivers undervalue trucking and they don't take it serious. I want to use another word. The word I want to use is granted. Truck drivers take trucking for granted. Not only their jobs, but the trucking industry as a whole. I'm just getting off work. You guys know, if you've been following the channel, I've been grinding. I volunteered to work 6 days. Been on 6 days now for about 2.5 months. Everything is going pretty good. Money is good. And like I told you guys in the very beginning, I signed up to work 6 days to take advantage of an opportunity for me to continue to build my wealth, continue to make more money so I can create a better quality of life for me and my family, so I can pay off debt, so I can save and invest more of my money, things of that nature. So it was just, I feel like it was a blessing that just fell in my lap. That's how I look at it. One thing that I've stated on my videos in the past, previous videos, I've talked about how I don't take my job for granted. I don't take having a CDL for granted. I don't take the trucking industry for granted. The trucking industry has been amazing to me. The trucking industry has changed my life in more ways than one. Definitely from a financial perspective. The trucking industry continues to bless me. And this video, yes, I want to touch on some things that Bink said, but I also want to just remind you guys of how good you have it. With that being said, I understand that everybody that's in the trucking industry may not have a great situation. You may not necessarily be in the job of your dreams in the trucking industry. But I want you to understand that that's okay. And it doesn't have to remain that way. Some of you probably have had a bad experience in trucking to some degree. Maybe it was your first trucking job, you had a bad experience. Maybe it was your second or third trucking job, depending on how much you've moved around in this industry. But my hope is that while you're in this industry, you find a job that works for you, because there are a lot of jobs out there. And I also want you to understand that this isn't a competition. This is something else that I've stated on my video, because I feel like a lot of truck drivers in this industry, number one, they have egos. But number two, I feel like a lot of truck drivers feel like we're in competition for whatever reason. Listen, whatever somebody else makes on their job in terms of the money that they're making, it isn't going in my bank account. So the impact that somebody else salary or the money somebody else is making is going to be little to no impact on me, right? Shout out to each and every one of you guys that are doing well on your trucking jobs in terms of compensation. It's a blessing, and I hope you're able to do some great things with the money that you're making. I hope you're not just blowing it all. I hope that you're able to save, invest, and do all of those sorts of things, right? But it's not a competition, guys. If you're in a trucking job right now and you feel like you have a sweet situation, you feel like your job is super laid back and you don't have to work as hard, and you feel like you're making a lot of money, that is phenomenal. On the other end of the spectrum, if you're working a job that's a physically demanding job, but you're making good money, you're providing for your family, you're receiving a consistent paycheck, that's also a good thing. So I don't want you guys to ever feel like you're less than or inferior or you're not as good as somebody else, because the jobs are different. That doesn't mean anything. As long as you are able to take care of your financial obligations, as long as you're able to provide for your families, that's the most important thing. Not just with trucking, but with any situation that you're in. But trucking has definitely changed a lot of lives. And I want you guys to drop down in the comment section and let me know how trucking has impacted your life. In that clip, Bink talked about how truck drivers undervalue trucking and they don't take it as serious. And I see it all the time in the trucking space. I watch a lot of different trucking videos from time to time, clips, things of that nature. And I get to see some of the responses that truck drivers have as it relates to the industry. And there are a lot of truck drivers that bash trucking. And they may have some valid reasons. So I'm not dismissing truck drivers who have legitimate reasons as to why you feel like you feel in regards to trucking, if it's in a negative manner, right? I understand this industry is not perfect. I get it. But this industry can provide a really good opportunity to make some good money. You guys have to understand that there is a very low barrier to entry to trucking compared to a lot of other careers out there. I mean, the only thing you need to pursue a trucking career is a CDL and a high school diploma. You can literally go to trucking school. You can pay anywhere from free to, let's just say, $7,000 for tuition. I say free because they have grants that'll cover your tuition, so you don't have to pay money out of pocket. They also have mega carriers out there that'll cover your tuition. Now, there are some stipulations to it. You may have to sign a contract with a mega carrier for a year or so. You guys in the trucking industry, you know how that works. But you can literally get in this industry for what I would consider pennies on the dollar, to be honest with you, compared to some of the other careers out there where the tuition is much higher, right? let's take RNs for example. Let's take registered nurses. And I pulled up this information specifically for this video because I wanted to share this with you guys. Do you know how much registered nurses make? Entry-level registered nurses. You don't? All right, listen to this. If you're a newly licensed RN, you can expect a starting salary generally between $50,000 and $75,000 per year, with $60,000 to $70,000 being most common. Pay is higher in states like California and New York, and lower in states with lower cost of living. And obviously it goes on to say that whatever degrees you have, that can also factor into your pay. Associate's degree RNs will make less money than nurses who have a bachelor's degree, master's, and so on and so forth. So that will factor into your pay. Nurses also have shift differentials where they may get paid more to work a night shift as opposed to a day shift and things of that nature. But that's the pay average for entry-level RNs, $50,000 to $70,000 a year. In trucking, those of you that have been in the trucking industry, you know this. You can make more than that your first year as a truck driver. You certainly can make more than that in the industry that I'm in, food service. You can make more than that your first year in LTL. You can make more than that your first year as a fuel hauler. You can make more than that in a variety of different jobs within the trucking industry. And all you had to do is obtain a CDL, which took you anywhere from 3 weeks to 8 weeks to obtain, with tuition being under $10,000. Do you understand how fortunate you are to be in that type of situation? I would venture to say that the vast majority of truck drivers, as it relates to formal education, a high school diploma is all you have. I fall into that group, by the way. I didn't go to college. I only have a high school diploma. So Bink touched on this. He talked about how if you don't have another skill set that you can make equally or more money than you're making now, he stated how the trucking industry will eat you up. And I would just say, if you don't have another skill set where you can make the type of money that you're making now, if you didn't have trucking, what would you do? Just be honest with yourself. If you did not have a CDL, what would you do? If you got laid off from your job right now, or let me not say laid off. Let me say if you lost your CDL for whatever reason. Maybe you got a DUI, whatever the case may be, right? If you lost your CDL, what would you do? Now, I'm not sitting here suggesting that if you was not in trucking, you still couldn't be successful. That's not what I'm suggesting. I think as human beings, we have the capacity, we have the capabilities to do some phenomenal things if we put our mind to it. We have a plethora of examples out here in the world of people who are super successful, and they're human beings just like you. So I think we can do some amazing things once we're motivated, inspired, and we're committed and determined to reach certain levels in life, right? So I'm not saying that trucking is the end all be all. It's not. You can be outside of trucking, pursue something entirely different, and still thrive and still become successful. But while you're in trucking, if you lost it all today, what else could you do to make the type of money that you're making? Ask yourself that question. And I think for many of us, you will probably be sitting back like, man, what am I going to do next? And so if that's you, I think that's all the more reason as to why you should take this serious. As to why you should take having your CDL serious. I look at it as a privilege to have a CDL, to be able to get out here and make some good money so we can provide not only for ourselves but for our families. Bink talked about how this trucking has helped people pay off homes. It has helped people put their kids through college. And so many other things. A lot of you guys have some nice toys, right? Nice vehicles. You guys have motorcycles. You guys have boats and all these other things, right? You get to take some nice vacations. So all of that came through trucking. So look, man, all I'm saying is, guys, understand that if you're in trucking right now, you're blessed. You're in a good situation. I shared a comment recently of somebody who got out of prison, ended up getting a job with U.S. Foods, or Cisco, and it changed his life. The man said he was able to save $20,000 in his first year. That's an amazing testimony. But it came through trucking. This job, being in the trucking industry, has definitely changed my life. And I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this video right now can attest to that. So guys, understand what you have. It doesn't mean that, again, it's the end all be all. But let's not play around with the opportunity that we have in this trucking space. Let's not play with it. Let's not take it for granted. It's easy to take great things for granted when you have them. Oftentimes it takes us losing things to realize how good we have it. This video is just a reminder to tell you, while you have it, don't take it for granted. Don't wait until you lose it to reflect back on how good it was. Don't be in that situation. A lot of people are. There was a lot of people in this industry, and they're no longer in this industry for whatever reason. DUI, maybe did something criminal, lost their driving privileges, whatever the case may be. There are a lot of people. As a matter of fact, last week, me and my coworker was making a delivery to a particular location, and there was a young man in there, came out to the truck, and he was asking us about, where we were running out of. And my coworker asked him, he asked us if we were hiring. And my coworker asked him if he had his CDL. He said, yeah. But he ended up going to jail, and he kind of messed up his license, right? So he said he wanted to get back out on the road at some point. But now he's working at a place where he's probably barely making minimum wage because he messed up his license. And so, guys, you have to be smart. You have to make some really good decisions as a CDL driver. There's just certain things, certain situations you don't want to put yourselves in as a CDL holder. This is your golden ticket. This is your meal ticket as a truck driver. You don't want to screw that up. So, guys, that's all I got for you, man. Bink, appreciate the video, bro. Good video, good information, always dropping jewels. Again, I encourage you guys, go check out his channel. All Zoned In is his new channel name. And he works for Gemini Motor Transport. He's not on the fuel hauling side, but check out his content. He's providing some information in regards to that job as well. But listen, that's all I got for you guys. And by the way, let me touch on this one more thing. Somebody dropped a comment on one of my most recent videos entitled, "Working on a Holiday plus 6 days." It's my most recent video, Somebody dropped a comment and they said, "Not worth it." And all I want to say is this right here. And this is my response to that individual. Being able to provide for my family and create the life that I want through trucking makes it all worth it for me. It makes it worth it for me. So everybody's different. And to each his own. Everybody has their thing that, they want to do in trucking if you're a truck driver. It may not make sense to you what I do, and that's okay. It makes sense to me. And I know how it's changing my life doing what I'm doing. And so I want you guys to understand, whatever path that you're on, if you have a plan, stick with the plan. Don't let anybody derail you from your plans. People tell me, man, you're working too much. I feel good. I love staying active. I don't mind working. I've never been a lazy man, ever. I still work out doing the job that I do, even with having a physically demanding job. So, guys, do what you feel is right for your current situation. Stay on your own path. Don't let anybody influence you to make bad decisions. Stay focused. Continue to grind. Continue to level up. And continue to be the best version of yourselves. I'm going to holler at you guys on the next one. Peace.